So good morning, class 8 children. Yesterday, we started with chapter number 18, pollution of air and water. And we did the first half of the chapter, that what are the sources of air pollution? What is the impact on the health due to the air pollution? Second thing, we studied the case study of Agra, that why and how, what is the reason behind it, that the color of Taj Mahal is becoming yellowish. So the reason is the industries located in and around the Agra, like rubber processing, automobile, chemicals, and Mathura oil refinery. And this is the reason for it. Plus acid rain is also the reason, because acid rain does not only affect the living, it also affect the non-living components. And afterwards, we discuss the Supreme Court has taken various steps, like now we are shifted to the CNG vehicles, LPG we are using at our home, and unleaded petrol is used. So children, till here we read. Next, let's continue with the greenhouse effect. You all are familiar with this greenhouse effect. So let's read it once so that we can understand the what is greenhouse effect. Kindly switch on your cameras, each one, so that we can continue with the next part. Yes, Sachi. Start reading from greenhouse effect.
Greenhouse effect. You know that the sun's rays warm the Earth's surface. A part of the radiation that falls on the Earth is absorbed by it. The role of carbon dioxide in plants, but if there is excess of carbon dioxide in the air, it acts as a pollutant. Can you help Pahili find out the answer to her question? On the one hand, CO2 is continuously being released because of human activities. On the other hand, area under forest is decreasing. Plants utilize CO2 from the atmosphere for photosynthesis, thereby decreasing the amount of CO2 in the air. Deforestation leads to an increase in the amount of CO2 in the air because the number of trees which consumes CO2 is reduced. Human activities thus contribute to the accumulation of CO2 in the atmosphere. CO2 traps heat and does not allow it to escape into space. As a result, the average temperature of the Earth's atmosphere is gradually increasing. This is called global warming. Other gases like methane, nitrous oxide, and water vapor also contribute towards the effect like CO2. They are also called greenhouse gases. Global warming, a serious threat. Global warming can cause sea levels to rise.
Himank, next. So you can underline from here, other gases like methane, nitrous oxide, all these contribute towards the greenhouse gases. Kindly mark it. What are the greenhouse gases? So these all are the greenhouse gases: methane, nitrous oxide, water vapor. These all contribute towards the greenhouse gases. Kindly switch on your cameras. Yes, Kashish Chaudhary, you can start reading. Global warming, यहाँ से पढ़िए.
Global warming has become a major concern for governments worldwide. Many countries have reached an agreement to reduce emission of greenhouse gases. The Kyoto Protocol is one such agreement. Bujo is surprised to hear that an increase in the Earth's temperature by even as little as 0.5 degree Celsius can have such a serious effect. Paheli tells him that she had read in the newspapers recently that
Gangotri Glacier
in the Himalayas has started melting because of global warming.
Okay, beta. So this is a global warming. Already, children, you have read the gases which are the greenhouse gases. and this is a worldwide problem. And if the temperature rises even to a 0.5, that is a major cause of concern. So the glacier has started melting due to the global warming. So now what steps should we take, or the steps to be taken by the government? So kindly mark, what can we do to reduce air pollution? So here are few of the points. Yes, Harshit Tyagi, kindly read it.
मैम ग्लोबल वार्मिंग से
You don't know.
मैम नो
Sarthak Singh.
18.5. What can be done? What can we do to reduce air pollution? There are many success stories in our fight against air pollution. For example, a few years ago, Delhi was one of the most populated cities in the world.
It's a
It
polluted
was
city. The Delhi was one of the polluted city in the world. It was being choked by the fumes released from the automobiles running on diesel and petrol. A decision was taken to switch to the fuels like CNG and unleaded petrol. So you can mark this as a first point. We had switched to the unleaded petrol and CNG. These major results resulted in the cleaner air for the city. You might know the other examples also for the reduction of air pollution. You can also give the examples for to reduce the air pollution in your city. Okay, Veronica, continue with the next paragraph. The quality of air
Quality of air at various locations in monitored regular by government and other
is
agencies.
monitored.
We can
Is,
use
better read the words carefully. Is monitored regularly by the government.
and other agency. We can use this data to generate awareness about air pollution among friends and neighbors. There is a need to switch over to alternate fuel instead of the fossil fuel of our energy requirement. These could be solar energy, hydropower, and wind energy.
Okay, kindly mute yourself. So there is a need to switch to the alternate sources. So children, first we have discussed that instead of petrol and diesel, we are using the CNG vehicles and unleaded petrol is used. Second is that alternative fuels we are using instead of the other fuels. Alternative fuels में आपके पास क्या आ जाएगा? Solar energy, hydropower, wind energy. Okay, so these are the alternative sources to reduce air pollution. Okay, next one more is there. Small contribution on our part can make a huge difference in the state of environment. One more point you can write down. We can plant trees and nurture the ones already present in the neighborhood. So we all are aware with the One Mahotsav program, which is celebrated in July month, and when the lakhs of the trees are planted every year. Kindly mark it. One Mahotsav is a program which is celebrated every year when the lakhs of the trees are planted. Okay, kindly mark it. So these are the 3-4 points to be kept in mind to reduce the air pollution. Okay, and one thing more is there. Bujo and Paheli happened to go an area where small peoples were burning the dry leaves, and they started coughing because the entire area was full of smoke. You must have also seen children in the parks what that helpers do. They collect all the material and they just burn it to reduce the garbage. So what should be done? They should put them in the compost instead of burning. So there can be a question even why the person should make a compost of dry leaves instead of burning. How it helps to reduce pollution. Can you give me the answer? How burning, how or making a compost helps in reducing the pollution? Kindly tell. Anyone wants to give the answer? Burning
Ma'am,
is
because
better or composting is better?
ma'am, composting.
Yes, that's why I'm asking now, why composting is better than burning of
Ma'am,
fuel?
because if we burn leaves, it emits so much of carbon dioxide.
Yes, because much of the harmful gases are released with the smoke. And if we are burning this again and again, then what will happen? If the burning process is going on, then what will happen? Much of the smoke will be produced, and that is too much suffocating. And that contributes or that increases the air pollution. So what will happen if we are composting? One thing, that waste will be reduced, and second thing, what will be the happening? What is the second advantage? The soil will become more fertile. So instead of burning, we should make a compost of dry leaves, especially in the parks. They should dig a pit and they should put the waste, park waste especially, into that pit for the composting. So children, up to here, that was your air pollution, their impact and their case study and the alternative method to reduce air pollution. I hope till here everybody, all the concept is clear. Second half of the chapter is regarding your water pollution. Now again, same thing as we have read in the air pollution, causes from where the water pollution is generated, after that case study, and the points to be kept in mind to reduce water pollution. Okay, Geet, continue with it. Water pollution, start reading.
Water pollution. In class 7th, you learned that water is a precious resource. Think and list the various activities in which we need water. We saw that water is becoming scarce due to increase in population, industries, and agriculture activities. You have also studied how water becomes dirty after we use it for washing clothes, bathing, etc. This means that we are adding some materials to the water which spoil its quality and change its smell and color. Whenever harmful substances such as sewage, toxic chemicals, silt get mixed with water, the water becomes polluted. The substances that pollute water are called water pollutants.
So children, I hope it's clear to you what makes the water dirty. That is the sewage, toxic chemicals, silts, that get even the wastewater from our home, from industries, from the factories, that all pollutants makes the water polluted or dirty. Okay. After that, let's study, let's case study of Ganga river is there. Okay. Let's read it about. Yes, Harshit Tyagi, will you read, or Aryan Shinde?
How does water get polluted? Case study. Ganga is one of the most famous rivers of India. It sustains most of the northern, central, and eastern Indian population. Millions of people depend on it for their daily needs and livelihood. However, recently a study by Worldwide Fund for Nature found that Ganga is one of the 10 most endangered rivers in the world. The pollution levels have been rising for many years. We have reached the we have reached this stage because the towns and the cities through which the river flows through large quantities of garbage, untreated sewage, dead bodies, and many other harmful things directly into the river. In fact, the river is dead at many places where the pollution level are so high that aquatic life cannot survive. An ambitious plan to save the river, called the Ganga Action Plan, was launched in 1985. It aimed to reduce the pollution levels in the river. However, the increasing population and
Okay, beta,
industrialization.
wait. This is a Ganga action plan. One question may be there. एक तो आप सबसे पहले ये टिक कर लीजिए. This question may be in 1 mark. World Wide Fund. for nature, WWF, full form of it. Kindly mark it. Next, here in this paragraph, make one question. When Ganga Action Plan was launched? This year you have to remember, 1985. And what was its aim? It aimed to reduce pollution level in river. Okay, got the question? When was Ganga Action Plan launched and what is the aim of this? So aim to reduce the pollution level in the river, because you know the pollution level is increasing in the river. So main purpose was this. So children, you can mark the dates. Okay, afterwards, Akriti, continue reading from the next paragraph. Let us take a specific example.
Let us take a specific example of understand the situation. The Ganga at Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh, UP, has one of the most populated stretches of the river.
But it's not
Kanpur is one of the
populated.
most
Array, wait, beta, wait. It's polluted. It's not populated. We are talking about pollution. Just see the words carefully.
polluted stretches of the river. Kanpur is one of the most populated towns in UP. Before can be seen bathing, washing clothes, and defecating in the rivers. They also throw garbage, flowers, idols of gods and goddesses, and non-biodegradable polythene bags into the river.
Okay, beta,
At
kindly mark
Kanpur,
it.
the
Why the river and how the river gets polluted. What the people throw in the rivers? They throw garbage, flowers, idols of gods and goddess, and non-biodegradable polythene bags and polythene bottles. जो plastic bottles आती हैं, everything they are throwing in the river. And sometimes you have seen that people are throwing this garbage. Even the factories, they throw fertilizers, leather, paint industries, they throw the waste material or other chemical waste into the rivers. Kindly mark it also, children. Means everything is thrown into the rivers. You must have seen sometime that people are taking bath in the rivers. Have you seen? And washing the clothes on the bank of the river. Seen or not? So that also pollutes the water in the rivers. Okay, so kindly mark it that how the river water gets polluted. So based on the above information, can you give the answer of this question? What are the factors responsible for the pollution of the rivers? What steps can be taken to restore the river Ganga to its past glory? Means what steps we can take that Ganga river should be clean as it was earlier a few years back. How would the disposal of garbage, etc., affect the living organism in the river? So, you know, there is a worst effect as the living organisms are suffering a lot. They die when they eat or when this all things go into the stomach. Even they are not able to breathe when there is too much garbage is in the river. So that life is, this aquatic life is suffering a lot. So I hope you can answer these questions. Next, many industries, what they do? They discharge chemicals into the rivers and streams, causing the pollution of water. Examples are oil refineries, paper factories, textiles, sugar mills. See the figure. You can see that how industrial wastes are thrown into the rivers. So it gets polluted. Each and every industry. So that's why it is said that before throwing water into the rivers or in the seas or in the ocean, it should be treated. Okay, you can continue from this Aryan Shinde from the top of this page. These industries cause chemical contamination of water. Chemicals released, which chemicals are released into the water? Kindly underline: arsenic, lead, fluorides. They increase the toxicity in plants and animals. Kindly mark it. Which chemicals are released? Aryan, are you there? Kindly read it.
These industries cause chemical contamination of water. The chemical released include arsenic, lead, and fluorides, which lead to toxicity in plants and animals. There are regulations to prevent this. Industries are supposed to treat the waste produced before discharging it into waters, but quite often the rules are not followed. The soil is also affected by impure water, causing changes in acidity, growth of worms, etc. We have learned in chapter 1 the importance of pesticides and weedicides for the production of crops. However, all these chemicals dissolve in water and are washed into water bodies from the fields. They are also seep into the ground to pollute groundwater. Have you ever seen ponds which look green from a distance because they have a lot of algae growing in them? This is caused by an excessive quantities of chemicals which get washed from the fields. These act these act as a nutrients for algae to flourish. Once these algae die, they serve as food for decomposers like bacteria. A lot of oxygen in the water body gets used up. This results in decrease in the oxygen level, which may kill aquatic organisms.
Okay,
Sometimes
beta. Okay,
untreated
okay,
sewage.
okay. Fine, fine, fine. So, children, what happens when the chemicals are washed into the rivers? What happens? Means chemicals from the these fields. They also act nutrient for the alga to flourish. You must have seen that alga grows into the, not in the rivers, in the ponds it grows. And when the growth of alga is much more, then what happens? The supply of oxygen is less, and that's why the aquatic animals get affected by it also. Okay, so again, the excess of the fertilizers which we are using, that is also the reason for alga to grow into the ponds and the death of the many of the aquatic animals. Okay, so we need to take care of all that things. Next comes sometime untreated sewage, that is also thrown into the rivers. Untreated sewage like this also food waste, detergent, microorganisms, these all things pollute the water. इसको mark कर लीजिए बेटा, क्या क्या चीजें rivers में, that what things are thrown into the rivers. And in this paragraph you can underline the bacteria present in the feces of the animals are the indicators of the quality of water. So see how water gets polluted by many of the reasons are there. And one thing more, children, you must have seen that stream water and river water is not hot water. Hot water can also be a pollutant. Yes, this is also a pollutant because the wastewater which is released from the power plants and industries, it is released into the rivers. उससे क्या होता है? The temperature of the river is increases, and that is also there is a worst effect on the animals and the plants. So yes, hot water can also be a pollutant. And from where that hot water comes? That water comes from the power plants and industries. I hope I'm clear with it. So till here today, rest we'll discuss later on.